Welcome to the Deep Dive. This week, we're wading through a flood of AI news.
It's been quite a week.
Definitely. We've gathered a stack of recent articles, blog posts, and we're going to try and unpack the key developments and, maybe more importantly, what they actually mean for you, professionally speaking.
Yeah, what's the practical takeaway?
Exactly. And a theme that keeps coming up is this idea of AI shifting.
Yeah.
It's moving from just reacting to us to, well, maybe predicting or even shaping what we do now.
Anticipating needs, yeah.
You see it with the big names, OpenAI, Meta, Apple.
Yeah.
Their systems are learning from how we interact online to guess what's coming.
Yeah.
It's subtle, but pretty significant, I think.
It really is. And it's fascinating to see the different global approaches to this. Take China's national AI strategy, announced just this week.
Right, President Xi announced that.
Yeah, it's a very deliberate top-down plan. They're focused on self-sufficiency, especially in high-end chips and software.
So less reliance on others.
Exactly. It signals a clear push to control their own AI future. And, that could really shake up global tech supply chains.
Absolutely. Businesses have to think about their dependencies now, don't they?
They do, and it affects anyone doing business with or in China. It's more than just tech. It's strategic positioning on a global scale.
Okay, so that's one major strategic push. Then, sort of on the other side of the coin, you have Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei talking this week about transparent AI.
Interpretability.
Yeah, they're actually mapping out the internals of Claude 3 Sonnet, like 30 million features, trying to understand how it makes decisions.
Which is crucial.
But why is that interpretability piece so important for businesses right now?
Well, it really boils down to trust and managing risk.
Okay.
As AI gets embedded deeper into, critical business functions, you have to be able to understand its reasoning.
Otherwise, it's just a black box making decisions.
Precisely. If an AI is guiding key choices, you need to audit its logic. Check for bias, errors. I mean, it's like ensuring any other critical tool is reliable. Amodei's point about needing diagnostics for AI, that hits the nail on the head. You can't manage what you don't understand.
That makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Risk management is huge there.
Yeah.
And speaking of huge things, Elon Musk's XAI, they're reportedly seeking, what, $20 billion?
At a $120 billion valuation, yeah.
No, that's massive.
It's a huge sign of investor confidence, right? What does that kind of money flowing into one player signal for professionals watching the space?
It just underlines the enormous perceived potential of AI, and the competition is intense.
Right.
These huge funding rounds don't just fuel that one company, they ripple outwards. They affect talent, research directions, market expectations. It tells you the smart money sees massive returns down the line in AI.
Okay, which kind of leads us nicely into how AI is actually getting woven into everyday business operations and customer experiences too.
There's a blog post this week talking about a shift towards more flexible teams, outcome-focused, using AI agents.
Ah, yes, the 82% statistic.
That's the one. 82% of leaders planning to integrate AI agents within 18 months. That's soon. They even mentioned agent bosses.
Humans managing AI agents, yeah.
So what's the practical implication there for professionals today?
It suggests a future where, agility is key, being adaptable. This agent boss idea means management skills might need to shift.
How so?
You need to know how to delegate to AI effectively, how to oversee it. For anyone working in these teams, it means learning to collaborate really smoothly with AI tools, maybe even managing hybrid teams, humans and AI together.
So augmenting skills, not necessarily just replacing jobs yet.
For many roles, yes. It's about enhancing what humans can do, though some tasks will likely be automated, as we saw with Duolingo later.
We'll get to that. But on the tech itself, we saw some big releases. Baidu launched new ERNIE models, 4.5 Turbo, X1 Turbo. They're emphasizing a better multimodal capabilities and cost effectiveness for businesses.
Right, things like customer service, content creation, data analysis.
And at basically the same time, Alibaba drops Qwen 3.
A whole family of open source models, including a massive 235 billion parameter one.
Open source is key there, isn't it? What's the significance of these Baidu and Alibaba moves for businesses wanting to use AI?
Well, the big picture is AI becoming more accessible and more powerful. Baidu, focusing on cost, makes advanced AI reachable for more companies, not just the giants.
Okay.
And Alibaba open sourcing Qwen 3, that's huge. It really democratizes access. Companies can build their own custom AI solutions on top of a state-of-the-art foundation without being locked into one platform.
And that huge parameter count on Qwen 3, That generally means better performance.
Generally, yes. More parameters often translate to better understanding and generation of complex language, which is obviously valuable for loads of enterprise tasks.
Got it. And it's not just the back office, right? Yeah. AI is hitting the consumer side hard too. OpenAI added AI shopping features to ChatGPT.
Smart recommendations, visual comparisons.
And even WhatsApp integration.
Yeah.
That sounds like a direct attempt to get involved in our shopping decisions.
It absolutely is. They're using the AI's strength understanding user preferences to create these really personalized shopping experiences.
Right, within the chat interface.
Exactly. And hooking it into WhatsApp makes it even more immediate. They want AI to be part of that buying journey, maybe even nudging decisions in real time.
Interesting. We also saw partnerships focused on trust online. Adobe and LinkedIn launching Verified on LinkedIn.
An AI-enhanced ID verification.
And Visa's new thing, intelligent commerce. They worked with Anthropic and OpenAI on that. It involves AI-ready cards, ChatGPT search. Sounds geared towards corporate spending.
It is. Both of these signal that as AI grows, we need mechanisms for trust and security.
Makes sense.
The LinkedIn verification tackles online identity, fraud crucial for professionals. And Visa's platform uses AI to make corporate spending safer and more efficient. It's all about building confidence in these AI-driven systems for people and for businesses.
Okay, let's pivot slightly. Ethics and the human side. This week saw that controversial AI experiment from the University of Zurich on Reddit.
Yes. That caused a stir.
AI-generated comments were surprisingly effective at changing users' opinions. That raises some serious ethical flags, doesn't it? Privacy, consent, manipulation even.
Absolutely. It highlights the potential downsides. Reddit's taking legal action, the university's investigating. It's a stark reminder of the responsibility that comes with deploying persuasive AI.
Definitely something to watch. And speaking of workforce impacts, Duolingo made a clear strategic shift.
Towards an AI-first model, yeah.
They're cutting back on contractors for tasks AI can handle and prioritizing employees who have AI skills.
It's a very concrete example of AI starting to reshape how companies are staffed and structured. It shows that trend towards needing skills to manage and work with AI.
We also saw a blog post emphasizing the need for more women in AI development.
And combat bias, yeah. They mentioned examples like Amazon's old recruiting tool.
Which was biased against women, right?
Yeah.
And lenses AI preferring certain skin tones.
Exactly. The point being that diversity in the development team leads to better, fairer, and ultimately more profitable products. It's not just ethics, it's good business.
Makes sense. Then there was OpenAI having to briefly roll back the GPT-4o update.
Because it was too agreeable.
Apparently so, which highlights the challenge of keeping these systems balanced, especially for professional uses where you need objective or nuanced responses, not just agreement.
It's a tricky balancing act for them.
And that Australian radio station experiment.
Yeah.
An AI DJ for 6 months.
And listeners apparently couldn't tell the difference.
Wild. That points to potential shifts in media staffing down the road, maybe.
It certainly raises the possibility.
Okay, let's touch on some breakthroughs and maybe more niche applications. Meta launched Space Llama.
A language model on the International Space Station.
Right. It showcases AI working in really extreme environments. Potential for space exploration support, remote science.
Definitely pushes the boundaries of where AI can operate.
And in healthcare, we saw significant investment in Crafe's AI for non-invasive cancer detection.
Huge potential there for earlier diagnosis.
Plus, AI helped identify a completely new path for Alzheimer's treatment, analyzing gene data to pinpoint a target and even a potential drug.
That's where AI's power in analyzing massive, complex datasets really shines, accelerating research in ways that were impossible before.
It feels incredibly impactful. On the more accessible tech side, Hugging Face released an affordable AI robot arm.
The SO101, trying to democratize robotics for smaller businesses, education.
Lowering that barrier to entry.
Yeah.
And DeepSeek made strides in AI solving complex math problems.
Yeah, achieving high success rates on proofs. And they open sourced it too.
Which again, helps the whole field move forward.
Exactly. Fosters more innovation.
We also saw ZocDoc launch Zoe, an AI phone assistant for booking doctor's appointments.
Streamlining healthcare admin, that's a big area for AI efficiency gains.
And briefly, Sam Altman's World Identity platform keeps rolling out its iris scanning orbs, partnerships now with Visa and Tinder.
A very different approach to digital identity verification using biometrics. Still quite controversial in some circles.
Okay, final theme, the regulatory side and some industry disagreements. Anthropic came out supporting government AI export controls.
They even suggested improvements. It shows some industry players see a need for guardrails, especially around powerful AI.
Acknowledging the national security angle.
Right, it's part of that ongoing conversation between developers and policymakers.
Yep. Not everyone agrees. NVIDIA apparently pushed back on Anthropic's stance.
Yeah, reports suggest NVIDIA raised concerns about chip smuggling and maybe potential revenue impacts from strict controls.
So a clash of perspectives there.
It really highlights the complexity. How do you balance security and innovation with economic interests? It's a tough needle to thread for regulator.
Definitely. And speaking of clashes, parts of Elon Musk's lawsuit against OpenAI are moving forward.
The fraud-related claims specifically.
That could have implications for AI partnerships, governance structures,
Hmm.
another thing to keep an eye on.
For sure. The legal and governance frameworks are still very much evolving.
And one last point, research suggesting potential bias in AI rankings.
The Elmarina benchmark, specifically, concerns that big tech companies might have an inherent advantage in how these models are evaluated.
Which would mean the leaderboards we see might not tell the whole story.
Exactly. Something to consider when looking at those performance charts.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. It's been a whirlwind week, clearly.
Understatement.
But the big picture seems to be incredibly rapid innovation across the board. It's hitting business operations, customer experience, healthcare research, everything.
And AI is becoming more powerful, but also, in many ways, more accessible. Open source models, cheaper hardware.
Which creates huge opportunities, but also, as we've seen, real challenges. Ethical questions, workforce shifts, the need for trust and security.
Absolutely. And the regulatory landscape is trying to catch up, shaping how all this unfolds.
So for everyone listening, staying plugged into these developments is really crucial, isn't it? Understanding how it might impact your work, your industry.
Definitely. You need to be thinking about the practical applications, the potential benefits, but also navigating those ethical considerations and risks.
What skills might you need? How could your business leverage these tools responsibly? Those are the questions to ask.
Important questions as AI keeps integrating more deeply into, well, everything.
Couldn't agree more. And to help you stay on top of it all, and to get links to the articles and posts we talked about today.
You should subscribe to the Reza Report newsletter.
Exactly.